Welcome back to Retro Rewire in the Hunt. JJ here, this time, or back again at the Kumagaya Hard Off. This is going to be a double feature. We're also going to head out to MANDAI Shoten. That was Astro Boy for the old Super Famicom. And I just want to address something because I want to do like a little game rant in a future episode. Somebody left a comment about, a lot of the stuff in Japan, like, being 20 years too late. And a lot of this is just kind of the leftovers of the leftover. I think his name was Dr. No Brazil. And it's, the criticism, whatever, he's just being cheeky. But I think there is a little bit of truth to that. And I want to explore that a little bit further. And you can kind of see that in some of the stores, kind of like this store, like a lot of the stuff is not going to be in optimal condition. But it's a multifaceted truth, right? It doesn't necessarily, because not everybody's after like complete, some of us are after like loose carts. And some of us don't mind like a mangy beat up copy so long that it is complete. Or a few of us go purposely after like the junk goods. So there's many truths here into the whole retro gaming collecting trend, or whatever you want to call it. But it is an interesting thing, right? But anyhow, let's that'll be for a future episode. Let's just and I'll kind of talk about it off and on as we go, because I guess just going further into that, there are I guess things being done to remedy that. Look at that Nintendo DS card case. That's a Club Nintendo one for the old DS. But manufacturers are doing, or publishers, they're doing things to kind of remedy that by re-releasing some of these sought after games and collections. And we'll dive deeper into that as we go. Here we got the Super Game Boy 2 for 5,800 in the box. Surugaya, loose can be 8,000 depending on which one you go. We got Tom and Jerry the movie for the Game Gear. And a lot of this stuff is going to be, just loose cart. And for me personally, anytime I buy like Game Boy stuff, I try to get it complete, but I'm okay with actually getting it loose cart. Game Boy is fine. Game Boy Advance is fine. 3DS, I prefer to get that complete. We got some BMUs there for 1,100 yen. But so many copies of Mario Advance 3, which is Yoshi's Island, there for 1,800 for Part 1, which is actually Part 2 or Super Mario USA. That gets confusing there. But here we got some Pokemon action for the Game Boy Color. What else do we have? We got Donkey Kong, R-Type. R-Type is a great game on the Game Boy Advance. And then Castlevania Adventure 2, 2,600 yen. And a lot of the stuff, of course, is going to be higher priced just because that's the nature of not only there being overall less, which I feel there's still quite a bit, but I think it has a lot to do with like just the current state of affairs, in terms of like economy and just kind of the way things are going. Here we got this, what is this? Kind of like a case there for some kind of console or a storage case. 16,500 there for the old purple cube, indigo cube. We got a CD-ROM there. 14,800 for the Dreamcast. 22,000 for the PS4, 16,500 for the Xbox One console. That original one, I've never had one, but it's definitely it's a chunky beast, much like the original Xbox. There's all sorts of controllers in here. They actually had some pretty cool Xbox One controllers. PlayStation Vitas, 19,800, 17,800. Those are definitely holding their value. They had one in the box down there for 22,000. 17,600 600 for a 1200A PS4. Freaking PS4, man. Holding its value, holding it down. We got the Switch Lite. 17,800 here for this GBA. I think that's like the Famicom version. But handhelds, a lot of this stuff, it's holding its value, but it's still definitely offers hours and hours of entertainment. And look at all these docks there. So many docks. We got the RF cable. for the N64 Famicom, Super Famicom. We got this Suikoden 2 Portraits Collection, 6 sheets. We'll have a closer look at what you're getting yourself into if you pick that up. I've never seen that. That's like a promo item for 3,000 yen. I wonder if Konami released more of those. That's kind of cool. I'm not really into Suikoden, but Suikoden or whatever the heck you want to call it. But anyhow, here we got Wave Race. This one has the Rumble Pack feature. It was re-released. We got Mario Story, which is in the same... I don't know if it's connected to Super Mario RPG, but... And a whole bunch of loose cards. 500 yen, you know, sun faded. Definitely not going to be in the most optimal condition. But, you know, with me, with my collecting habits, some of the Super Famicom stuff that I buy, I got like about 8 or so loose cards just because getting that stuff complete is like crazy expensive. And I'm talking about Phalanx, Biometal. What else do I have loose? Is it bad that I can't remember? Anyhow, I got a lot of things running in my mind right now. I have no idea what that is. Some kind of like detective DS game. Super Mario Land 3D, 800 yen. That one can still be found for like 300 yen. Complete. New Super Mario Bros. 2 for 1,000. I haven't really messed around much with that. And at the moment, I am playing some Super Freaking Mario. I'm playing Super Mario Bros. 3, the Game Boy Advance Edition, which adds a few new things. So, you know, it gives it like a new twist on thing. You know, very, very subtle. And it's mostly just like little sound bites, but it's definitely an enjoyable experience. And I'm playing that on a freaking Game Boy, unmodded. Got laser discs, DVDs, Blu-rays. I got to start showing some of my Laserdisc collection. Although I've definitely slowed down on that. Here we got a Boo. This is like a light for 2,200 yen. Or what is this? It's not Boo. It's Teresa, if I'm not mistaken. We got Mario Kart Wii. And then we got a Junk Showcase. We got a PS3 Fat here. 5,500 yen. And it said okay on something, so something's working there. We got the Silver Cube with the matching Game Boy player. A couple of cubes with one of them coming in at 3,300. The Hello Kitty keyboard for the Dreamcast. The Sega Saturn, 4,000 before sales tax. And then I believe that one was 8,000. I can't really see the price there. And then 8,800 yen for the PS2. N64 for 11,000. And look at that. 9,999 for the boxed GBA, but it is junk. Most likely, you know, LCD polarizing filter is just kind of burnt out. Whole bunch of PSPs. Freaking love the PSP, although it's been a few months since I've touched my PlayStation Portable. But it is my favorite handheld. I'll go on the record and say that. We got DSIs, DS, the Fat 3DS, which is my favorite one. It's just, you know, clunky. Look at that purple one for 5,500 yen. I don't think I've seen that color before. In fact, I didn't even remember noticing it when I was there. Here we have the yellow DMG, 11,000. I think they had 2 of them. Yeah, one of them is missing like the lens. And what was that? 1,001. That was just for the box for that PSP. We got the PS2 GT Gran Turismo 3 edition. Sega Saturn for 7,700 yen. What else do we have here? We got the Hori Commander. Look at that beauty. 1,650. I have the Hori Commander for the PC Engine, but I want the other one that they released for the Famicom top loader. It has a lovely color. We got some PS2 Slims, all sorts. Most of the stuff that they have here is going to be junk. But, you know, sometimes, you know, buying junk is pretty fun. It's an afternoon of troubleshooting if you're into that. For a while, I was actually doing more troubleshooting and correction, you know, repair work than actually gaming or game hunting. So I'm a little, if I'm being honest, I'm a little burnt out on it. We got the Driving Force GT wheel. We got a GunCon controller here. 880 yen. What else do we have? RPG Maker, some sort of cart for the Super Famicom, a Sega Mega Drive 2. That one has been there for quite some time, honestly. 3,300 for the Silver Cube. Check that out. 5,500 yen, and that's going to be just for the body. The actual machine only. What else? Just a bunch of stuff. Game Gear cases. It's not something you see every day. 1,500 yen. Typically, the Game Boy cases, those are going to be like 100 yen. But I guess those Game Gear ones are a premium. And check this bad boy out. The HD DVD kit for the 360. I remember seeing a bunch of HD DVDs at Walmart next to the Blu-rays. 1,100 yen. That was kind of an interesting time because I remember, you know, I think Universal was backing HD DVD, and it was kind of annoying because I had a PS3. But anyhow, dual Guncon 2s. Look at that. 2,200 yen. And you know those things work. But again, if you don't want it in this condition, you know, this might not be the shop for you, because the Kumagaya, this hard off, I want to say that a lot of the stuff is in less, it's like B tier stuff, you know. A lot of it's going to be scuffed. I mean, you're seeing the images. But I definitely like coming here every now and then. I get a decent deal. Here's the Formula Zero racing wheel, 2,200 yen. I think I sold them that one like a year ago. And that one is compatible with the N64, the Saturn, and the PlayStation 1. I was trying to downsize stuff, and I was in the area, and I had it. So I was like, let's sell it. We got the ASCII Dreamcast joysticks. They have 2 of them. And it's actually not that good. I don't really like the joystick and the buttons. What else do we have here? We got the Capcom fighting stick for the old Famicom, Super Famicom. I do have one of those, and I want to get like the wireless dongle adapter thingy. Look at these boom boxes. This is a Sharp here. I have a Sanyo, which I picked up at a Wonder Rex, but freaking boombox, man. And the one that I have is like a 1990 vintage, and the CD player still works. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any auxiliary input, but whatever. But let's just keep it moving here. See what we see. What's this controller here? For the PS4. Scuff Gaming. Nice box. Just making our way back here. There was actually a elderly lady with some young baby, and she was checking out the PS2 games. It was kind of funny. Which is why I had to backtrack later, but it's all good. Golden Axe there for the PS2. Loco Roco, 800 yen. I have that, and I've been meaning to just beat it, but, you know, stuff happens. In fact, I'm going to be releasing, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it before or after this video. I guess you guys will know, but the pickups for October. So stay tuned for that. I think I had 31 pieces in total that I picked up. One for each day of the month. The Unsolved. Hyper Science something. And then we got Cyber Sled, which is 800 yen. Gun Bullet. And unfortunately, for PC Engine, you know, they didn't really have anything. Here's D's Diner. 800 yen with the Obi card. Then we got some Godzilla and Vampire Resurrection. That Godzilla game is... Did that get remastered and released for the PS4, or is the PS4 one an original entry into the Godzilla games? I'm not really sure. Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. Unfortunately, that one is heavily censored. We got Caution Seaman for the PS2. Dreamcast, and a copy of Extermination just kind of chilling back there. But we put it back where it belongs, back in the stacks. That Extermination game is not bad, by the way. And it did see a North American release. Here we go. Star Gladiator. 800 yen. That's a great game. And here we go. Mandai Shoten. Just like that. We're going to jump cut. We're going to do it Stanley Kubrick style. Let's go ahead. Head up the stairs. And check out what all Mandai Shoten has. Now, I do like this store. It's not going to be the most affordable. It's not going to be the most expensive. Condition is going to vary wildly. But every now and then they got some goods. And I want to say that every time I visit this store, I usually buy something. Kind of like that meme with Denzel Washington. I'm leaving with something. Dungeons and Dragons. Look at that. 18,000, but severely sun faded. We got the Sonic Adventure 2 10th anniversary for 9,000 yen. With Castle of Shikigami 3 on the Dreamcast for 12,800 yen. On the Xbox, the original Xbox, that thing is dirt cheap. Now, they had Raiden Fighters Aces for 14,000. I picked up a copy not long ago for 10,000, but guess what? In February, they're re-releasing it for the Nintendo Switch, most likely the PlayStation 4 or PS5. And it's like, dang it, I should have I knew it was coming, but I just didn't know when. But whatever, I guess, having the 360 copy is all the more reason to hold on to the 360, but I might have to double dip on that. We got Cotton Original for PS1, 12,000. Castlevania Chronicles there, that one's 13,000. That's one of my favorite, if not my favorite entry in the Castlevania series. We got R-Type Final for 5,000. The North American copy is not actually that expensive. We got Raiden 3, Rule of Rose, and Godzilla Versus. I guess that's a new entry, Godzilla Versus, but it has like a similar art style. That's why I'm thinking that the PS3 version was kind of like the original, and that one being a remaster, but I guess they're different. On the old Gojira Game Boy Advance, 17,500 yen for the freaking Super Ghouls and Ghost collection. We got Pocky and Rocky with Becky. That one's crazy expensive. What else do we have? We got some Pokemon action. I've been having a good time actually lately with the old Game Boy Advance. Been taking it with me to the hotel, playing some Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Revival. And then, what's that, Zeoth? They've had that one for a while, 26,000. There's Street Fighter 2, the original, 12,000 for the old Game Boy. And Final App Special for the Wonder Swan. That's one of the more harder to find titles. And that one has been there for years. Years. What else we got? We got some Super Famicom stuff. We're going to take a closer look. We're just going to be bouncing around. But we'll definitely have a closer look at a lot of this stuff. We got Crisis Force for 38,000. I do want a copy of that. They have two of them, actually. But as you can see, the condition and the price, it's different times. We got Gunnak, 16,000. The Flintstones, The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy. And then that kitchen game. Ninja Gaiden 3. Castlevania Densetsu, 5,800 yen. Salamander for 6,800 yen. Kid Dracula there. They got some heavy hitters for the old Super Famicom, or the Famicom. Wampaku Graffiti, Splatterhouse. A lot of good stuff here. They even had DuckTales. And a Super Game Boy. Psycho Dream, loose cart only, 6,000. 5,000 for Super Aleste, Rockman and Bass for 5,000. Darius Force, they had a loose copy on in this showcase, and I also have it in the form of a loose copy. And it might just stay that way. Would I like it complete? Yeah, but anyhow. We got Soldies, a couple of new releases there for the Mega Drive. And what the heck is this? Look at that cover. That's interesting. Burai Fighter. Super Mario Bros. 3, 3,000. Part 1 for 3,000. Tiny Toon Adventures 2 for 8,200. Punch Out. And what the heck is this? Look at that cover. Some business looking dude. But a nice selection here of PC Engine and Sega Mega Drive. These consoles, especially nowadays, they're harder to come by. Finding a store that's just kind of loaded with this stuff. We got the Game Boy Pocket Atlas version. This is the only place that I've seen this thing. 150,000. It's been here for quite some time now. That's a hefty chunk of change. We got this Game Boy Advance. This is a nice color. 11,000. 24,000 for the GBA Micro. That's the Famicom edition. And I believe you can change the faceplate out on the Micro. Although good luck finding other faceplates that are, I guess, original. 15,000 there for some Kirby's Epic Yarn thingy for the 3DS. I wonder why that one's so expensive. What else? We got the Parodius Portable Collection, or Twin B. Actually, both of them. The Gradius Portable Collection, that's great. Dracula X Collection, or Chronicles, which is awesome. Aleste, Game Gear Aleste 2 for 30,000. The Legend of Zelda Collection for 10,000. That was actually included with my GameCube that I got. The second one that I had, the silver one at freaking Walmart. Splatterhouse Part 2, 22,000. And Part 3 for 28. Toe Jam and Earl, 3,000 yen. Thunder Force 4 for 9,000. The Super Shinobi for 6,000. 5,500 yen for Outrun. That's actually not too bad. Next to Jewel Master. This is going to be for the PCFX, 49,800 yen. And here we go. We got some Neo Geo CD titles. The big one here is going to be Ninja Masters for 29,800 yen. Next to that is going to be Puzzle Bobble. But you know, they have Garo, they have Samurai Spirits. They even had Nam 1975, which is kind of a rare one. I don't often see that. 26,800 yen for Popful Mail on the old PC Engine. We got some R-Type Complete there for 7,000. That's not actually too bad. And I think I picked up, what did I pick up I picked up Gunhead. Now Gunhead, I had a copy of that. And as I will mention, I don't know if I already did, depending on what I decide to do with the upload schedule, but I had a copy of Gunhead, and that thing was my original copy, or the copy that I first had is freaking cigarette smell. And it wouldn't go away. 3DO, The Soccer Kid, Puzzle Bobble, and Royal Pro Wrestling for 9,000. That's by Natsume. I hear great things about that wrestling game. They also had Gex for 4,500 yen. You could find that cheaper at Surugaya, and I believe their copy here at Mandai Shoten was missing the manual, unfortunately. But I do want to pick up a copy of Gex for the old 3DO. I'm getting close to finalizing my 3DO collecting. And then we have Valkyria Azure Revolution. Azure, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I have that for the Xbox One. Interesting title. But the old PlayStation Vita. I think Silent Hill Book of Memories is the only other game that I really want, but I want the North American version. But you know what? When I think about it, I want to play it. And maybe it's okay to just go digital with that game. Not every game has to be physical in the collection, you know what I mean? We got Soul Sacrifice. 1,200 yen. And I think Soul Sacrifice Delta was kind of like the follow-up. Persona 4 Golden. 2,200 yen. And we got some Star Wars action. Highly likely that... Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. But I was going to say it could support English language options, but you just never know. Got some rally action there. I wonder how that one is. And then we got the Puyo Puyo Tetris. 2,500 yen. This could be really fun. Freaking puzzle games, man. I've been... what is this? Earth Defense Force 3 Portable. This is also available on the Switch as well as the 360. And maybe the PS3. But I'm not sure what changes the portable one brought. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D. 1,200 yen for Super Mario 3D Land. If you're looking for Super Mario 3D Land, which is an excellent game, just go to Book Off. It'll probably be like 400 yen, 500 yen. Luigi's Mansion 2,500 yen, Part 2 for 1,800. We got this new Yoshi's Island or whatever the heck. I don't know much about that one, but 1,200 yen. It could be fun. We got some Pokemon titles. Let's just keep it moving here. A lot of loose cards. And what else? We got some Mario Paint action here for 2,000 yen with 2 games. And what else do we have? We got that Pikachu game, and then the Joy Tap 3 by Hudson Soft, 2,500 yen. That's kind of interesting. 3 controller ports. What game? I guess Bomberman, but 3, just an odd number, literally and figuratively. What else do we have here? What else do we have? We got some DS games. Freaking DS. Look at this one. 2,200 yen. And that looks like it could be some kind of visual novel. Although, I don't know. Does the DS... I can't... You know, the full motion video playback on 3DS isn't the best, but... We got Final Fantasy 3, the remake, 1,500 yen. And then this is like that other game. This is another visual novel type of game. Look at the one next to it by Namco. And then Goddess of Destiny. Something part 2. No clue there. And then we got some Zelda action. But maybe that's enough of the Nintendo DS. Let's just keep it moving here. A whole bunch of loose cards. Look at all this stuff. And Garo 2, some Kirby Golf. A lot of the Goemon games for 1,000 yen. 1,200 for the original. 1,500 for part 2. Part 2 may be the best. Maybe, it just may be the best. We got Star Fox, Street Fighter 2, Donkey Kong for 300 yen. That's a great game. And I still haven't beaten it. But it's a great game nonetheless. Super Mario World and All Stars there. A whole bunch of... A lot of the first party stuff. A lot of the stuff that sold in the millions. 800 yen for Final Fight. Now, complete in the box, that's averaging roughly across all stores and regions, like roughly 3,000 yen. Some places will have it at a deal. Some places are going to have it super high. Rockman 3, 1,800 yen. A whole bunch of Rockman there. For the Famicom. And look at this. Super Mario Bros. 3 Part 1 and 3. I wonder if they had Super Mario USA. I can't remember. But 1,000 yen. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. What's that, like $7? And then we got some Nintendo GameCube action. Super Mario Sunshine, 1,800 yen. I haven't beaten that one either. And Luigi's Mansion, 2,000. We got Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And Rogue Squadron 2 for 3,500 yen. I do want a copy of that, as well as Part 3. Those games were pretty fun. Choro Q on the old Cube. They also have one where they have like little jets. And this, I'm not really sure what this, 2,800 yen. I think that one maybe saw a North American release and it's crazy expensive. Here we got the Puzzle Collection, Dr. Mario, Yoshi's Cookie, and what's that, Panel de Dawn, something like that. They had some Sonic Adventure DX. Which I believe was it the DX version that was released on the PlayStation Network? Or I think the DX bit is going to be like DLC. Those wise guys. And then we got this for the old Mega CD, 3,200 yen. Next to Lunar, the Silver Star story. Lunar also had like a remaster collect. Look at all these Game Gear games. But Lunar, they had the HD remaster set. For a while, that one got crazy expensive. And I think it got restocked, but I'm not really sure what the current prices are. I would like a copy, but it's not a priority. We got Puyo Puyo, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Garo for the old Sega Mega Drive, 1,800 yen. And that looks to be in fairly decent condition. What else? If I'm being honest, what I like about this store is I do like the stuff in the showcase because, as I mentioned before, with my collecting, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be buying is going to be in the showcase. I'm up to that point. And what I'm doing at the moment is I got a lot of fluff in the collection, and I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. But I got a lot of fluff, and I'm just kind of slowly getting rid of it. Here we have Dead or Alive 2, The Last Round. For the Xbox One. I should have picked that up. Maybe next time I head out this way, if it's still there, I'm going to get it. 1,800 yen for the Phantom Pain. 3,000 was that last round. And look at that. Japanese audio and English subtitles only. Which is crazy. They have enough room on the disc. Just put it all, man. Halo Wars 2, the Halo Collection. I think the Halo's getting like a remake, and I think they're gonna gimp the library, which is crazy. That's where the game gets crazy hard, man. But it's a bit exciting. It could be frustrating, but as a matter of fact, I'm in the library now on the original release. Every now and then I pop it in on the original Xbox, and such a great experience, that Halo. That Halo. We got Zelda Skyward Sword. We got Ghost Squad, 1,500 yen. Ghost Squad is pretty cool. Mario Kart 8 for 800 yen. You can get that for as low as 270 yen. 270 yen, my friends. Freaking Wii U. We got Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, 1,200 yen. You know what? Part 4 is coming out soon, and I don't really care. It does nothing for me. And here we have some Umbrella Chronicles action. But yeah, Metroid Prime. I played the first one. I skipped the second one. I tried to get into part 3, but I think Metroid Prime is best experienced with that original release. And I do have the remaster. 3,200 there for the Capcom Classics Collection. On the old PSP, I have a digital release of that. I think I paid 50 cents for it back in like 2017, 2018. Initial D Street Stage, 4,800 yen. I wonder how this one is. Initial D for the PS3. That one's still eluding me. And then we got Tekken 6, 2,200 yen next to Dark Resurrection. I have both of those, and I paid like 500 yen each. Dead Head Fred, 2,500 yen. Kind of an interesting title there. Freaking PSP. We got Metal Slug Complete, 4,500 yen. Again, this one you can find for about 1,800 yen. And then we have Little Big Planet there. Portable, 1,200. That's not bad. What's that? Disgaea Portable. And then Breath of Fire 3, 2,500. I believe it also got a physical release out in Europe. But for some reason, North America was no release. Africa, 1,800 yen. I think the North American version of Africa is crazy expensive. Or it was at one point in time. I'm not really sure what it's currently trending at. The Capcom Classics Collection for the PS2, 3,500 yen. And then we have Rumblefish, or the Rumblefish 2. Some Godzilla action here, 3,500 yen. This looks like it's another fighting game. I do like the fighter, the 2D fighter on the old Super Famicom. And KOF Maximum Impact. I have that, and that Maximum Impact is actually pretty fun. And then Initial D Special Stage for the PS2. I think that one may be the best version. It could be the best version. And I believe it was freaking Sega, man. What else do we have? Metal Slug 3, 1,800. Next to Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 2. Some places will have it for as low as 50 yen. Complete in the box. Medal of Honor Rising Sun. What else do we have? I wonder if Rising Sun if the Japanese release is a little different. I should try that out. We got Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha. The collection there for 1,800 yen on the old PlayStation 1. We got 03 for 800 yen. And then JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for 2,000. And then we got the collection here with Ray Storm and Ray Crisis. That's not actually a bad deal, but keep in mind that it is missing a few features like the extra soundtrack. We got Einhander, 3,200 yen with the 100 yen discount. Some Suikoden for 1,800 part 1 and 2. And then some Ultraman action here. What the heck is that? Some fighting game. Look at that. Visually, it looks really good. I wonder if those are bull shots or if it's the real deal. What else do they have here? We got some Rockman 6, Part 5, Part 4, and Rockman 8. Rockman 8, I know this. I have both the PS1 and the Saturn version, but I like the PlayStation 1 version. 3,000 there for Ranma 1/2 Renaissance. I'm kind of curious about that game. But going back to that Rockman 8 statement, I like it because I just like the Tengu Man music more on the PlayStation 1. Racing groovy. I have that. Funky game by old Sammy. I should pop that in. It's been a while. Next to Rage Racer. Excellent game. We got Final Fantasy IV. Beautiful cover. 2,000 yen. Biohazard 2 for 1,500. Now this is where things get good. Forget the freaking Sega, PlayStation, Nintendo. Let's go with some PC Engine 3DO, man. Well, there's Sega. I guess that's blasphemous, right? Road Blaster FX, 2,200 yen next to Soul Feast. Now this Road Blaster, I do want to play that. I want to try that out. I remember seeing it in magazines, like the magazine advertisement. And then Pompnik World, 2,500 yen. What is that? Buster Bros? Something like that. And then Loom, 2,500 yen. Lucasfilm. I have no idea what the heck this is. No clue. We'll put it right back. The Legend of Xanadu, 3,200 yen. That's a pretty cool action-adventure RPG. What else do we have here? We got some 3DO action. Crash and Burn, 1,000 yen. I should have picked that one up. Crash and Burn I do want in the collection. The 3DO is such an acquired taste, and I have like this secondhand smoke, like a secondhand nostalgia for it, because I never owned one, but I would always see it in the magazines, like Next Generation magazine, and that's why I want it. Here we have Waku Waku 7. Now it's missing the back insert because that one should be included in like the little box set, which includes the 1MB RAM card. Street Fighter 2 there, and then Cybercore, 3,200 I think for each. China Warrior, and then this football game, 2,200 yen. This kind of reminds me of Mutant Football. Look at this. Mutant League Football by Tonkin House. Now that's a name. And then Clax. And then Ordine there for 2,800 yen. Outlip, 2,800 yen. Volfiv. Afterburner 2, 3,800 yen. Doraemon. Now, some of those Doraemon games look pretty good. Momo something there. That Namco game. I have that. Fantasy Zone. And the old Neo Geo CD. Look at all these. 94. I think somebody that retired and closed up shop just kind of dumped all their stock. Fatal Fury 3. I do like that one. What else do we have? A KOF 96. 1,800 yen, 97 and 98. Real Bout. World Heroes 2 Jet for 3,800 yen. Then the ultimate one, World Heroes Perfect. Great game, that one. Freaking love the World Heroes series. We got the Neo Geo Special CD, which is kind of like a demo disc. Fighter's History Dynamite for 2,500 yen. Now, I held on to that one because I was, at that moment, I was thinking I was going to buy it. But I did not. What else do we have here? We got Battle Chess for the 3DO. Next to Mega Race. And Total Eclipse for 1,000. Solar Eclipse for the Sega Saturn is the better one. Naturally, it came later. I don't know. Should I get that demo disc one day? Maybe. We got Darius Gaiden, 2,800 yen. Next to Daytona USA for 500. Sonic Jam, 3,200. Street Fighter Collection. And then Gundam Side Story 3, Part 3. And that one comes in 3 episodes, or 3 entries. I have the first one, and it's actually not bad, those Gundam games. Not bad at all. We got Biohazard for 2,500, and some of these are going to have like small discounts. What else do we have here? Last Bronx, 800 yen next to Riglord Saga, or Mysteria. I think that's what it was called at first. Mystaria or something like that. And then the Sakura Sega Saturn Memory Card Edition, and then the original one, 2,500 yen. That's probably what they're all trending or priced at. What else do we got? We got some Sega Dreamcast. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Great game. Virtua Striker 2, 2 for 500 yen. Power Smash 2. A bunch of solid games here for the Sega Dreamcast. Zombie Revenge, 3,800 yen. Virtual On for 500. And then we got some Soul Calibur for 300 yen. So you could do some damage here, you know, getting all the what I would consider the most popular titles. 1,500 yen for Capcom versus SNK, the vanilla version. And then we got some Hello Kitty action. And back to the PC Engine. Here we have those Doraemon games. Oh no, back to the Saturn. Panzer Dragoon 2 Part 1 for 800 yen. Not bad there. Virtua Fighter 2 for 300 yen. Yeah, good old Sega Saturn. I had a few pickups last month. And I will likely have more this month. Y'all know how it goes. But this Waku Waku 7, I want a copy of this. It's also available on the AES, digitally on the PlayStation Network. Here's Daedalus for 300 yen. But Waku Waku 7 also available on the PS2 and the Sega Saturn, of course. Virtual On Cyber Troopers for 300 yen with the Obi card. Deep Fear, 1,200 yen. So some of these prices, they're looking pretty good. Looking very good. Decathlete, 300 yen. In fact, I held on to that one. I was thinking I was going to get it, but then I was like, you know, I'm only getting it because it's inexpensive. It's Sega. I'm not going to play it. So I talked myself out of it. I know it's just 300 yen, but, you know, that stuff adds up. And it adds up not necessarily, you know, not, of course, with the wallet, on the wallet side of things, but I'm talking more about on the shelf. We got Shredder's Revenge Anniversary Edition. There's so many additions to that Turtles game. I think there's another one that's like the complete edition, which is, you know, I think that's when physical is just balling out of control. Atelier Yumiya, Atelier Lula. So many of those Atelier, whatever, however it's pronounced. We got Octopath Traveler 2 next to Part 1. And then SBC Chaos, 2,800 yen. I'm surprised I haven't picked that one up. I have the PlayStation 2 version as well as the original Xbox version. And there's a KOF 13. I do want that. But I have it on the freaking PS3, so I don't know. Double dipping, man. I got to control the double dipping, y'all. What else? We have some Chocobo what? Dungeon? Tales of Graces Remastered. I think Xillia was recently re-released as a remaster, or that's going to be the next one. But see, you know how they're re-releasing this stuff? This is a great alternative. If you want to have something pristine, you want it to be retro. I consider those games retro in a way. They're freaking old. Energy Breaker. And then Ninja-kun there for 18,000. A few games in here that I was interested in. And what's that? Something... some Idol Trainer Remix Part 2. And there's Kiki Kai Kai, The Black Mantle. Excellent game. Super Funky Bob, 38,000 next to Dracula XX. Nosferatu, look at that beautiful cover. And I want that copy of freaking X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, 14,200 yen. I should have picked it up at Trader, which is now long gone. They had a copy for like 9,000, 8,000. Should have picked it up. I knew it. But whatever. Dead or Alive 3. Scarlet. And a whole bunch of other stuff. Extreme. But yeah, always a good time. Oh, there's R-Type Tactics. Those are also getting they're also getting a re-release. A lot of stuff's getting re-released, which is a great thing. But anyhow, we're coming to an end here. I hope you enjoyed this. Expect more. I'm going to be filming out more in Chiba very, very soon. It's looking like I'm going to be there till the end of the year now. Which is, you know, it's cool with me. Right after work, hit up a few game shops. Y'all know how it goes down. Prehistoric Man, 3,000 yen. 2,000 for Gradius 3. Super Metroid. What else do we have here? Mickey's Magical Quest, 2,500 for Part 3. Then we have the Donald game. And then we have Cool Spot, 1,800 yen. But anyhow, JJ Retro Rewire. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to be dropping, or maybe I already did drop another video, but anyhow, ciao.